When I was at Pipex, one similarity in terms of not necessarily being customer focused and what was happening in the industry at the time is that we would be really focused on trying to sell you antivirus software and sort of value adds and so on during this race to the bottom of price. And sort of when Carphone Warehouse came out and said, free broadband, what do you do? So there are some parallels, but where I think the analogy breaks down is that, unfortunately, we've seen a race to the bottom around what people are prepared for decent connectivity. And if you have a Wi-Fi hotspot, it needs to still connect into a backbone. Who's going to pay for that backbone? And one of the downsides of what's happening in telecoms is we all want, 60, 100 gig fibre, but who's going to pay for it? And I think that's not the same in the banking disruption, because as Jason's company is doing, is it's setting out to build its own infrastructure, and which is possible, but it's very hard to build a national connectivity network. So I think the problem for the telco industry and for society in general, because digital connectivity is like a national asset, like your road network, like your health system, it's becoming that important, but people won't pay for it. So who is going to give us and invest in that digital infrastructure? Because it's got to be with. But banking, you can build, new technology. So I think it's almost the disruption is going to be bigger in financial services, because we still haven't seen that Kodak moment in telecoms. All the main providers are still there, because you can't actually replace that network, because even if you've got drones, they still need to connect into a backbone.
But do you think the risk is that, only owning the backbone, you lose the opportunity to engage and speak to customers, cross-sell, upsell?
Of course, but there's still a lot of money in being a dumb pipe. So I think that this kind of disruption thing sometimes overplayed. And like I said, all the main players in telecoms are still there. Their revenues are declining massively, and that moment is coming. But the same barriers do not exist in financial services, because Mondo can build, or is setting out to build, its own rails, its own security, its own AI, whatever the hell it's setting out to do, in a way that can make it self-sufficient, I suppose, is what I'm saying.